podcast of no name / sidetrackers. How are you doing, Brandon?
Not too bad, not too bad.
Episode 35. Let me check something really fast. It's great when you're not using your phone.
Yeah, we're trying a new system out.
Hello, hello.
I don't know.
Shit. Oh, well, we're good. We're on. There we go. Yep, we're trying a new system out. We got a mic over here. If you can see it, can't see it. So, all right, this is episode 35. Like I said, we're trying a new thing. I don't know who's actually watching, who's not right this moment. But we do got a comment section over here now. Oh, that was Shelly. Said sounds great. Sweet. So episode 35, Brandon. Episode 35.
That's quite a few, actually.
It is quite a few. You would think one of us would have had a heart attack by
Not yet.
now. So, Peacemaker ended. Did
Yeah.
you finish it?
I did. I watched the final episode last night.
So what did you think of the major cameo?
I thought it was pretty fun. I mean, obviously, two of the actors couldn't be there, so they kept them in silhouette, but the other two were there,
Yeah.
and it was pretty hilarious.
The Barry one was pretty funny,
Mm-hmm.
where he's like making fun of Aquaman too.
It's like, it's not a rumor.
Then making fun of Green Arrow.
Mm-hmm.
The beginning of the episode was funny too.
Which, by the way, the actor who plays him, Mr. Amell, fired back on Twitter over that, over the comments.
So, I'm a huge Steve Amell fan.
Mm-hmm.
Like, just in general, him playing Green Arrow. I want him to be Green Arrow in the movies, even though everybody in the world does not want that to happen. If Charlie Cox can play Daredevil and I get my wish, I can get my wish on Steve Amell playing the Green Arrow.
Yeah, as long as they can get all the contract nonsense sorted out.
Well, they're not doing anything with him, so
No, but not now, but maybe later.
maybe. So, right now, he's just doing heels, but he's the podcast I watched with him.
Mm-hmm.
I want to say the guy that played Lex from Smallville, he was on there, or it was Renee Young, one of the two. Because I watched back to back on Stephen Amell at
Right.
the podcast. And so with that being said, he said he would come back to play the Green Arrow. Now I'm saying the Green Arrow because
There are
he
multiple.
played Arrow.
Yeah. Yeah, there are multiple interpretations of that, because they did Arrow and then other characters that were non-canon to the comics.
Right.
But, it's just kind of one of those things where you gotta push the two universes together and get contract shenanigans out of the way, but I think he'd do a good job. I mean, I always thought he was very entertaining. Matter of fact, his cousin also, Robbie Amell.
Mm-hmm.
I've watched a ton of genre movies with him in them, horror movies, sci-fi, stuff like that. But which it's uncanny how much the two of them look alike.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they've got some strong genetics running through in their family. But yeah, I thoroughly enjoy both of them. They were in a couple of things together actually, but yeah, I'm a fan.
Right.
I'd like to see it happen.
They've played around with the guy that plays Flash also.
Mhm.
Like the guy in the movie showed up in the TV show
Yeah,
and different vice versa,
which Flash with all the parallel worlds things, it's really easy to make that happen.
Yeah. With Jay Garrett from the original TV show being
Mhm.
on it, and then playing Jay Garrett, but also playing his dad.
Yeah.
So that was kind of cool.
I thought it was. also I noticed in the newest Flash trailer, they show at least 2 more speedsters standing behind him. So they're definitely doing.
Well, one's going to be Lewis on Reverse Flash,
Right.
which I'm okay with.
Eobard.
Yeah.
We're getting a comment that the camera is mainly pointed at your chest. So
No, it's not.
they're
I'm looking right at it.
right, but our window might be smaller. Okay, we have looks better now. Of course, there's also the time delay.
Yeah.
So it may happen, 5 minutes from now, be like, oh wow, what'd you do? That's not right anymore.
Yeah, I don't. I got too much light right there.
Yeah, and I brought in that light trying to.
I like that.
Yeah, trying to bring you some more forelight.
Mhm.
Matter of fact, I can turn the kitchen light on.
We got plenty of light.
Well, I'm saying from this direction
Okay.
because that might help. That's what we did last time.
Yeah. That's not the light.
No, it's not. Why they put those 2 switches right next to each other, I don't know.
But Reverse Flash would be great as movie or TV show. in my
Yeah.
opinion. So.
Which where they're doing the Flashpoint thing.
Yeah.
It makes sense.
Meh.
I have much better as a comment.
Well, that's good. But yeah, I'm just done with the Flashpoint stuff because you're not going to do it correctly. So let's just. There's other Flash stories we could tell.
True, it's true.
Like the Flash of the two tales of the Flash. Like we could do that, which they did an episode of Flash on that. But
Mhm.
we could have a longer version of that.
The only reason I think they're doing Flashpoint is for the moviegoers who don't read the comics,
Yeah.
because of the fact that it was such a pivotal piece in explaining so many different things and why they changed and everything, because the timeline never got put back to normal.
Right.
Not exactly, anyway. The closest I've seen to having it done right is the animated version.
Hmm.
The animated version?
Animated version's the best version.
Yeah, they did an excellent job with it.
But when they did a TV show, I'm like, meh.
Yeah. Plus budget constraints and all that kind of stuff.
Well, yeah, I get it's a TV show, but with movies you could do probably better. But I don't know.
We just got told our lighting is really good.
It is really good. It's fantastic.
Splendiferous even?
Hmm.
I said splendiferous even?
I don't know what that means, but sure. I mean, usually I look like a vampire. Yeah.
You look like a human being.
So, by me watching Peacemaker, I just realized something at the end where I was walking past him.
Hmm.
He has an issue with other superheroes
Oh, big time.
because kind of like if me and Eric was in a room and I'd be like, I would be dogging Superman
Right.
and he would be dogging Batman
Right.
because I held out Batman to a degree. I'll default the guy, but I was still like, oh, at the end of the day,
Mm-hmm. You're still a fan, and that's the one you support.
yeah, Superman, I'll fucking dog all day long. He's an alien. He's a guy that's lived here. I understand, but he could at any point enslave the whole damn world, and that's what Lex sees.
Well, true, but that's true of any multi-billionaire that we're dealing with in real life
No,
nowadays.
no.
Which Lex was, however, I'm talking real life here. Yeah, but when you get down to it on Batman, he's also, you know, thoroughly sociopathic.
He's also breaking the law, just like the
Yeah.
rest of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the deal with Peacemaker, and because his childhood was so messed up,
Mm.
he just wants to belong. He wants to be a hero.
Right.
And he just, for the longest time, went about it the wrong way because of how he was brought up.
Right.
And I think he hates the other heroes who have been successful heroes from the beginning. You know, everybody loves them, but nobody pays him any attention because the only time he ever got attention as a kid was bad attention.
Right.
I mean, it really carries over as a psychology lesson, really.
Right.
But I think that's why he hates, you know, the big heroes so much.
Right.
Because he doesn't know why he isn't there at that level.
Like him sitting on the porch or him sitting on the bed on that TV show, I
Mhm.
really understood that
Oh yeah, yeah.
completely.
They did an awesome job with it. Which James Gunn is insanely talented anyway. But
Yeah.
have you seen Slither? I know you're not into horror movies, but
Mm. I've heard good things. So.
we've got to get you to watch Slither because that right there is so early on in his career. But you watch it, and it's just insane fun all the way through, even with the gory parts. It's just fun.
Nice.
It is a horror comedy, so
I'm excited that season 2 will be coming out.
yeah.
Hopefully they don't rush it, because you know how that is.
Well,
But with John Cena's scheduling, I'm hoping it delays at least for 6 to 9 months.
honestly, with Gunn executive producing and all that, they're not gonna rush it.
So, okay, imagine this. He's doing what he wants with Peacemaker. What
Mhm.
he probably wanted to do with Guardians of the Galaxy. That they
Mm.
probably wouldn't let him.
I don't know that that's necessarily the case because typically whenever you take it and reinvent a character,
Mm.
you know, so deeply like that, you want to take a character that's not massively beloved by fans.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you take a beloved character and do that, you're going to get so much hate.
Mm-hmm.
And I think just that alone kept him away from Guardians of the Galaxy, trying to turn them into something way topsy-turvy from where
Right.
they started.
But also, no one cared about the Guardians of the Galaxy other than 1960s, 70s comic book readers.
No, it was pretty heavy in the 80s too.
So,
But I know for a fact that because it interacts with so many other comics, there were a lot of times.
Howard the Duck.
That's true. It is true. One of the worst live action comic book movies ever, but I watch it strictly because it makes me laugh.
That's funny.
But my brain derailed. Train of thought off the tracks. No, the deal with Guardians of the Galaxy and everything. They gave him a property that he already knew and was already a fan of,
Right.
that he could take and just have fun with and play with.
Mm.
That's another reason I think that he wouldn't have tried to change them so much,
Right.
because he was already a fan.
He didn't change Peacemaker that much, in my opinion.
Well, I mean, from the original run stuff.
Well, you had to.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's 2022. I mean, you're not going to. They kind of dove in there, but
Yeah.
they
Yeah.
kind of went, well,
Veer away from it. Yeah.
we'll just make him White Dragon.
Mm-hmm.
I like how Robert Patrick is still going to be there to harass his ass.
Yeah, just as a hallucination.
But that's in the comics too. He
Yeah.
he talks to the people he killed.
Mm-hmm.
So
They hang out. I like the
great.
I like the fact that Goff is now with him, but hasn't tried to take another host.
Yeah.
Just realizes there's no point in it.
Yeah. For now.
Yeah. True. But
I want season 2 that's have Dr. Light in it.
That'd be entertaining.
Yeah. That way, you have a person. He showed up at Titans.
Okay, see, I've not watched Titans.
He has showed up for an episode of Titans.
Okay.
So you got a person that can go, over here or over here. He's a villain, kind of mainstream, kind of not, but
he's also highly unstable and just kind of goes with whatever he's feeling that moment.
yeah, like he could bring the Hive with him. He could not.
Yeah.
Either or. Which Gizmo showed up in the last season of Titans.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, live action Gizmo.
I've got to make time to watch that. I just haven't got around to it.
Like if I had more time, I would be already done. But yeah, like season 3 is not bad. Like Scarecrow's there.
Okay.
Like first season, it was Trigon, main villain,
Right.
and then season 2 was Deathstroke. Of course.
How did they do? Did Trigon look good?
Yeah, he looked good.
Oh, cool.
So, but like season 3, we got Scarecrow. So, all great villains.
Yeah, as if you say, there's nothing wrong with Scarecrow. I would really like to see somebody take and do it correctly. From the animated series, Clayface.
Clayface, yeah.
Because Clayface, he's got a tragic backstory, and there's times he's done the right thing. They really made him fully fleshed out as a character.
Yeah.
And I think that would be awesome to see. I would like to see it done right, though.
Yeah, they said on Peacemaker season 2 that there should be someone from Suicide Squad show up that we already know.
Yeah.
So, if I had to guess, it's probably gonna be Bloodshot to come get his ass and like try to kill him.
Maybe.
Because what's her name? That's in charge of Suicide Squad.
Waller. Yeah. Amanda Waller.
She got fucked over. Well, you watched it, so you know.
Yeah. By her own daughter.
Yeah. So follow me on this. Marvel had to help out with the last episode. So I told Tish, I was like, well, if they're helping, you could always have a shitty crossover of some sort of Marvel. I was like, Wolverine shows up and you see Peacemaker yelling at him, "You piece of shit, fucking faggot."
I want to see them do Wolverine to the accurate height.
Yeah.
Because he is not a tall man. Hugh Jackman's 6'2".
Right.
Yeah, he did a great job. I'm not knocking him.
Well, he did it for like 20 years.
Yeah, yeah. And he's an incredibly talented actor too.
Right.
But he's 5'3", 5'5". He's a little dude.
So we gotta get Danny DeVito to do it.
Danny's shorter than that, I think. I'm not positive on that, but I think he's shorter. They're talking, which I've seen this rumor in multiple places, and slightly different word variations all the way out. They're talking like Daniel Radcliffe might show up as an X-Force version of Wolverine.
To be continued on that, put a pinpoint on that, and we'll come back to that.
Okay.
Because I really want to go back to my what I want to see in season 2 of Peacemaker.
Okay, cool.
I want to cross up. I want a cameo. I want Diebeard to have a brother. Okay. And I want that brother only show up for one fucking scene. And I want the brother to be Kevin Smith. And I want him to wear a Deadpool mask. Just the mask. Wearing regular outfit.
Normal clothes everywhere else. That would be hilarious.
Because, like, he wanted to Stan Lee and Marvel. Like,
yeah.
cameos, and they're like, no.
Yeah.
And now they're like thinking about Deadpool doing it. Right? So it'd be hilarious. He just goes over to DC and wears the Deadpool mask.
That is very true.
And then, like, Diebeard's like, what the fuck you doing, Kevin? Like, that's actually his name. Like, Kevin.
Nice.
Like, I was telling Tish about this. She's like, why would they do that?
Just for comedy.
And I was like, why not? I mean, what are they going to do?
Just sheer comedy.
All right. back to the Daniel Radcliffe. Me and Eric's been talking about it. Him being Wolverine, Tom Cruise being fucking Iron Man. Stop that.
Yeah, no, that never needs to happen.
And Ryan Reynolds being Deadpool, but not our Deadpool that we know.
Yeah.
Like Eric's like, I heard that he's going to be in the movie, but his face is completely cleared. I was like, we had that fucking movie. It's called Wolverine.
Mm-hmm. Origins.
Which the movie wasn't bad. I
Nah.
liked it. I liked it.
They altered so much stuff, but for just like popcorn fun, yeah, it's popcorn fun.
That being said, so there's gonna be a lot of cameos. Patrick Stewart's. We already heard the voice. I already saw the man stand up.
Mm-hmm.
So they're setting up for Illuminati. Sorry, I had to think about it for a minute. Because Charles Xavier is part of the Illuminati. So is Doctor Strange. Unfortunately, so is Iron Man.
Mm-hmm.
And I've heard they're going to do Bullseye.
If they do Bullseye right, it'd be okay. But if they do it wrong, like they did in Daredevil, or for that matter, Daredevil,
Daredevil wasn't bad.
wasn't good
Or-
either.
Or its time period.
Wasn't good either.
Jon Favreau did a fantastic job. Ben Affleck did a fantastic job.
Look, I love Jon Favreau. Don't get me wrong, but
Which made Spider-Man even better with him sent by Matt Murdock.
see that kind of stuff is always fun when they slip little Easter eggs and stuff like that in. But he definitely got knocked around by the studios. It wasn't his fault that Daredevil turned out that way.
Who are we speaking of?
Favreau.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Because the studios, before they turn any money loose, you know, with producers and all that, they're like, well, we got to put our ideas in here. We need this change. We need this change. We want this tweaked this way. What? Studios have single-handedly ruined more movies that would have been masterpieces than anything else. It's just, yeah, it's infuriating.
That movie ruined Ben Affleck's career
Mm-hmm.
and life
Mm-hmm.
because he met his future wife there.
Yeah.
Now look at him. He's back with J-Lo. I'm excited about this. Or it's alternate Ben and Jen. One of the two. Which I'm okay with too.
Yeah, typically I don't care about who dates who when it comes to celebrities. It's not like I know these people, but
He's my cousin. That's Eric.
but no, it's messed up. The fact that millions of dollars gets bounced out just to show what couples are together. It's like, stop that. Yeah, you won't report actual news because the people who own your news stations tell you what you can and can't say, and it pertains to what makes them the most money. But then studios turn around, they do that nonsense, except it's, here, make sure you see them kissing. Make sure you see them on this ski lift. Here, make sure you see them. It's promotional nonsense.
Right?
It's like, we got to make sure they stay relevant.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, man.
I don't know, man.
Maybe I'm just an old codger.
I don't know. I bitch about Vietnam news.
Yeah.
Literally from the Vietnam War. Let's get that clear. Not the Vietnamese news stations.
No.
Anyway, so I watched Bel Air. I watched the first 4 episodes.
How was it?
I like it, even though I don't know if I'm supposed to. It's very dark. I like it that it's dark. I I like it a lot, to be honest. Like, it comes out every Thursday on Peacock. If you have it, great. If you don't, it's probably worth getting just for this show, to be honest. Like, once WWE goes to Disney Plus,
Yeah.
which is probably the plan, this is probably the show that's going to keep this streaming service alive.
Cool.
DJ Jazzy Jeff has his hands in it,
Okay.
which is probably a good thing. But I was thinking, why does DJ Jazzy Jeff have his hands in it? I guess that's only how he's going to make money. I'm sure when the deal was with Will brought him in because, you know, it came from DJ Jazzy Jeff and the Fresh Prince.
Yeah.
The singing, not them two on
And for you young people, you know, look it up. It's on YouTube. They had several hit songs,
Nightmare on My Street, literally about Freddy Krueger.
which they got sued over.
Yeah!
And that's the reason why. That's the reason why in the video, there's no Freddy, there's no nothing. Yet there's an entirely different monster in there because they couldn't get the rights because they got sued over it.
Wow. And then the Fresh Prince song itself,
Yeah.
parents just don't understand.
Mm-hmm.
There was one other. So it only had like four major songs.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And then the film and TV stuff started.
Yeah. But I would say that's how DJ Jazzy Jeff has his hands in it because there probably was a contract thing and Jazz probably in real life kept it in because he knew eventually it'll pay off.
Well, yeah.
Will Smith's the executive producer, of course. There's another executive producer. I'm pretty sure he's involved in the original Fresh Prince of Bel-Air also.
Oh, okay.
So what I like about this show is the first episode we learn more about Will. Like Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, the TV show, the original
Right.
comedy, the one with Will Smith, we learn Will had a drift on a ball court.
Right.
That's all we know.
Well, they come back and touch it a few more times in later seasons,
Yeah.
but nothing like, you know, too intense.
We don't know that Will had a scholarship waiting for him. Didn't know like he was a major basketball star in Philly. We knew he played basketball, but
Right.
didn't realize like
Playing it and being exceptionally good at it are two different things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like he had recruits looking at him. All he had to do was sign the papers and stay out of trouble.
Yeah.
That's all he had to do. Didn't happen.
No, in Philadelphia, it's very difficult to stay out of trouble.
Trey in the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air played by War Machine. His War Machine and who does Will Smith play in Suicide Squad? Bullseye?
Deadshot.
Deadshot, and Uncle Phil plays Shredder. They all sit on the couch together. Look that up. Anyway, back to like the Bel-Air actual show,
Right.
new show. In the original Trey, we see one episode, and we learn that Will had to let him go because he was no good.
Right.
Like he just constantly getting in trouble. On this, he is constantly getting in trouble, but the guy that they fought in the ball court and Will pulled the gun on because it was Trey's gun.
Yeah.
Is this big mobster guy, basically, a gangster in Philadelphia. Used, right terms this day and age. It would be a mobster back in my 40s. Today age is a gangster, whatever.
Yeah,
Will pulls out the gun, fires it in the air, cops come, Will gets caught. I want to say Trey gets away. and then the other guy gets busted too.
The one causing the problem.
Yeah, and next day, Will gets out of jail before he even sees the judge, and the gangster guy is like, he hasn't even saw the judge. How's he getting out?
Mm-hmm.
And then Will's like, how the hell did I get out? And they're like, you know someone.
Okay.
And they're like, you know someone. And so he gets into his mom's car, and instead of like hitting the correct exit, they keep driving. And Will's like, well, where am I going? And she's like, LAX.
To the airport, yeah.
Yeah. And he's like, well, why am I going to LAX? Well, you're going to go live with Uncle Phil and my sister. Oh, people I don't even know. So you learn right there and then there that Uncle Phil is a very powerful man.
Right.
Because
Which he was a federal judge in the...
yeah, he was, but
Yeah.
like when you first meet him, he's just a lawyer.
Right.
He's running for
To get elected as judge, yeah.
So, that being said, that's how powerful Phil is. So that gives you another part of Uncle Phil there.
Yeah, more depth to the actual character.
So then, gets picked up by Uber. Jazz is driving the Uber. And, he warns them like, hey, they're going to change you here. You know, like, don't let the Philly in you go away, because they'll want that.
Yeah, they'll try and get rid of it.
So they pull up to the house, and we see Hillary. But this Hillary is different compared to the original show.
Okay.
This Hillary isn't like driving off her parents' money, asking for $100 every time she turns around.
Not the materialistic.
No, this one has YouTube followers and TikTok followers and Instagram followers, and she's trying to become a big-time chef, but not on her parents at all.
Right. She wants to do it herself.
Yeah.
Okay.
She has like 10 million followers and stuff like that, and she gets this interview with like a Martha Stewart type. It's not Martha Stewart, but
Something along those lines.
yeah. And they're like, you need to tone down your spice, which came from her grandma, which is Uncle Phil's mom, which in the original she's a great cook.
Yeah. Yeah.
That being said, she does her own spices, Hillary's doing her own thing.
Right.
And
Which, if it's rooted in like actual cultures from Africa,
Louisiana on this.
well,
Yeah.
they brought that
Right.
with them whenever they came, which
Right.
they didn't come on purpose. They just
Right.
got dragged along. But like Ethiopian food, I have a friend of mine who's from Ethiopia, and anytime I would eat the food he cooks, brace yourself. I love hot food,
Yeah.
but we're talking hot enough your gums hurt.
Right.
That's where I learned to make groundnut chicken.
So I like this Hillary. It reminds me at the end of the show of Fresh Prince of Bel-Air.
Whenever she became more humanistic.
Yeah. While she was on Major Pain.
Oh, the Wayans brothers. Yeah, I think the cord's gonna pull it over.
There you go. So that being said, I like this Hillary. She's fighting a lot with her mom.
Right.
Because her mom's like, I can give you this, I can give you that. You need to play the game. And she's like, I'm not playing this fucking game.
Yeah, she's like, I don't want no part of it.
Yeah.
Okay, I get that.
Ashley, right now, they're doing the same damn thing they did with Ashley on the original show. She's there. She's gaming though, and like she escaped the house, and Jeffrey found her like right off the bat.
Okay.
Now, speaking of Jeffrey, I like this Jeffrey. This isn't our British Jeffrey
Yeah, he's
that ran away from the UK because he had a scandal.
right.
This Jeffrey's from Jamaica.
Oh,
But
nice.
he doesn't have the
The patois,
yeah,
which is what it's called the way they speak.
he's not like druggy Jamaican, whoa man kind of deal.
Oh, he's not a Rasta.
And And so he's a black man that has power because his boss has
Right.
gave it to him, but
Right.
he also knows where he stands. And every night, him and Phil smokes a cigar and has Jack Daniels in a cup.
Yeah.
Also, there was a scene on the last episode I just watched. There's a basketball scene because Will tries out and they don't want him because him and Carlton keeps getting in fights, which I'll get to that in a minute. But there's a scene in the last episode. Will, the guy that's trying to get to Trey and Will, because Trey got shot
Okay.
and got shot in the arm, shoulder arm, and Trey tells him that he wants him dead,
Right.
and he's coming. He found out that he's in Bel Air, and he wants him dead, and he's not going to stop till he gets to him. So Will goes to his uncle's office, and Jeffrey's there, and goes, "Can I help you?" He goes, "Well, I need to talk to my uncle." And
Right.
he goes, "What's it about, or can I help?" And he's like, "I don't know." And he's like, "Well, why don't you tell me, and I'll tell you if I can help you or not." And he's like, "Well, he's like, well, do you know why I'm actually here?" And he's like, "Yes, I actually do, because you pulled a gun out and blah, blah, blah."
Right.
Because no one else is talking about it. He's just here for a better education.
Yeah.
So that being said, he tells Jeffrey, and then you see Jeffrey get in a car and leave. And I don't know his name, but I know he's famous. He's like a famous rapper / actor. And they pull up, like one goes one way, and Jeffrey rolls down the window, and he's like, "You tell them in Philly, we were paid them $10,000.
Mhm.
We're not paying their cent." And the guy goes, "Okay." And at the end, Will calls Trey, and Trey goes, "That guy's dead now."
Yeah.
And Will's like,
Yeah. He's like,
Ooh.
wait a second. What did I get involved in?
"Oh shit," kind of. So
Yeah.
Jeffrey has connections.
Right.
Like, not like in the original show, he had connections, but they were
Yeah.
kind of stupid.
Yeah. They weren't necessarily underworld connections.
Now Carlton, this guy that's playing Carlton, you want to reach through the TV and choke him yourself. That's
Okay.
how way he's playing Carlton.
Wow. That's really not good.
Like, no, he's playing Carlton like,
No, I mean as a person.
oh
yeah.
yeah.
Because he's supposed to be an irritating.
Oh, he's an irritating little asshole.
Ah. Okay.
Like, he runs the school. Like, think of AC Slayer and Saved by the Bell, but run that up by 1,000 notches,
Oh no.
and like, yeah.
Yeah.
Like, he's literally running the school,
Yeah. That's definitely not a good person to be around.
and he doesn't like Will, and they constantly get in trouble. But remember Lisa?
I think
Lisa
so.
was the girl that came from Philly to their college, and like Will fell in love with, and they were going to get married, and then like instead of them getting married, their parents got married, and then we never saw their parents ever together.
I'm drawing a blank on that one. I think I know what you're talking about, but it's been a very, very long time.
Okay. Well, Lisa was Will's girlfriend in Fresh Prince of Bel-Air.
Right.
Okay. So she's on the first episode. Like right off the bat, we get Lisa. All right. So Lisa used to date Carlton. Will sees her and madly falls in love with her. So with Lisa's family and Will's uncle family, there's a connection. Well, Carlton can't take this shit because he's so madly in love with her. So he throws Will into a pool. Lisa, of course, is the captain of the swim team, so she has to go rescue him. because Will can't swim.
Well, that backfired.
Yeah. And then, like, Lisa helps Will get out of trouble because Carlton's friend planted drugs on him.
Oh, great.
Like I said, this, like, Carlton had to, like, set up a person from a different school to get out of this. So that's how much power Carlton has.
That's, yeah.
But, like, I told you there's election, right?
Mm-hmm.
And, like, Will's aunt and uncle are so high up that they forget where they're coming from. Well, Will's there, and, like, he does weird shit. And they're like, there was one scene where he's on a microphone,
Right.
and he's like, and everybody's like, I'm gonna kick your ass if you don't get off that microphone. And Will's like, whose ass are you gonna kick? And Uncle Phil runs up there, and he's like, they call him by a different name because that's what he was known as in this fraternity.
Right.
And he's like, why don't you show me how to do that dance, or have you forgot? So then, like, Phil does the dance and gets everybody's vote because Will made a scene.
Mm-hmm.
And then, like, the last episode was Carlton and Will had to work together to get these votes. Well, Carlton, being privileged, doesn't understand.
Right.
Will, being from the hood, gets these people. But he's just standing there because he's like, I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah.
So, Will's like, all hoods are the same. And Carlton's like, well, if all the hoods are the same, then you can help me get through to them.
Right.
So they work together because they both added, at the end of the day, Will wants Trey to come to Bel Air.
Right.
Carlton wants this drag racing thing. Like, he's going to this racing thing.
Okay.
The other thing, Hillary and
another thing.
the other thing is Hillary and Ashley are supposed to work together to go to stores. Ashley runs away to go with this game, internet gaming with her friends.
Okay.
From like East LA, which Jeffrey finds her, so whatever. But Hillary runs into Jazz, and she's like, "Oh, you're Will's friend, the guy that's randomly disappears at our house every once in a while."
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, "Yeah, what are you doing here?" And he's like, "I own this record store."
Yeah.
And she's like, "Well, I can help you with Instagram and stuff." And he's like, "What the hell's an Instagram?"
Right. Right.
So then this famous rapper comes in while they're working, and Jazz is like, "Do you want to help? Would you get a picture with me for my Instagram?" And they're like, "Instagram?
Mm-hmm.
You have an Instagram?" And he's like, "Hillary's setting it up for me." And Will walks in, they all get a picture together.
Okay.
So, like, this Jazz I like.
Okay.
He ain't like,
The barely there.
yeah, like, he's gonna be a person. Like,
Which I always thought that, they were underutilizing the actual Jazz in the first one.
right.
Because they made him play dumb, they made him play stupid, and like he wasn't there all, completely mentally.
Right. And Hillary likes Jazz.
Okay.
Not like, I like Jazz to get pissed off my parents. Because there was that.
Legitimately likes
Yeah.
him.
So, I'm interested to see how that's going to play out. I'm also interested how Trey's going to work out. Is he going to stay in Philadelphia or Bel Air, or what's going to happen?
Okay.
I don't know.
I'm interested in it because I've seen the trailers, and
Yeah.
then I could tell right away it was much more serious, a lot darker in a lot of ways, and
They're fleshing out the characters
yeah,
a lot more.
that's important because you can have the best character idea in the world, but if you don't flesh it out and make it something people can actually connect with,
Right.
then you've just wasted everybody's time.
Right. Aunt Viv
Mm-hmm.
sounds like Aunt Viv. It's it's to a T. Like,
Oh, nice.
she's from West Philadelphia too.
Right.
First episode, I really liked her. Now we're getting into her artsy Archie side.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, alright. Yeah. And like, she constantly on Hillary's ass about stuff. And I'm like, I get it. But at the same time, Hillary has a good point.
Okay.
So.
But yeah, like I said, I'm interested based on the trailers I've seen and from what you said. However, will I go and get another streaming service just for that? Probably not. But
No.
that's namely because I've already got enough streaming services.
Right.
It's like I don't need that.
See, I have Peacock already for the WWE network.
Right.
So that's only how they got me with the show.
The real DN right there.
So.
And see, I've got let's see, 7 streaming services.
So you should do what I do. Watch what you want, and then when the show's over, get rid of the service.
Just cancel it.
Yeah, and then like Lucifer, I had that for Netflix.
Right.
I watched it. I was done.
So no more Netflix.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, like Hulu, I go back and forth on because they got the Connors. So like I'll get caught up on that, and then the kids will watch Hulu. Disney Plus, I'm using because of the comic book shows, So that I have to.
I also watch them for the Star Wars shows too.
Yeah. Which I'm stuck on episode 5, and that's why we haven't talked about Boba Fett. Have you watched Boba Fett?
Yeah, actually, I have been watching it, and I'm further than 5.
Okay, I'll talk about what I don't like about it.
Okay.
Episode 5.
Right.
There's 2 things. I already heard what he's doing with it, so it ain't gonna bother me. He's had this fucking staff for 2 fucking seasons now, or at least 1.
Yeah.
And within 2 minutes,
The spear.
yeah, he hands it over, and they're melting it down.
Yeah.
Couldn't we use that spear? I don't know, for season 3 that's coming out, or at least use it for yourself. So when a Jedi or a Sith comes randomly and tries to knock your arm off, you have a blocker.
Yeah, but he could, but he could use the Darksaber for that.
Well,
But also, the reason they did it is because it's a show of the whole clannishness and family interconnectivity of the Mandalorian society.
I get it, but
Yeah, I mean, it's just him contributing to and then caring for Grogu also.
double shit. Eric told me I yelled. I fucking yelled. That little shit's running Star Wars for me. I hope Luke has that episode and tries to kill the little shit.
Well, I mean, he does sick the training drone on him.
That's awesome. Anyway. I'm not a normal Star Wars fan. I love Star Wars, but like who people love, I'm like, fuck that thing. Hate Luke, which like is blasphemy to the Star Wars universe.
Well, if you actually look at it, everybody likes Luke, but he never completed his training.
Yeah.
Then later on, they've got him starting a school, and they're calling him Master. He was never awarded the rank of Master Jedi.
There was his dad.
Well, no, he became a Master. He just wasn't allowed on the council.
Well, thanks.
But yeah, he basically lucked his way through everything.
Oh, his fucking name.
And and yeah, he manages to actually, teach himself a lot.
Yeah.
Which they also get into the holocron and all that from the extended universe stuff, where he picked up enough information to be at a master level.
Right.
But that's extended universe stuff. They never did that in the actual movies.
Right. That's like Leia. I don't really give a shit about her either. I was like, either Anakin's kids are little brats. like the best thing ever happened to Leia is meeting Han.
Yeah.
Not in Han's case though.
No. Can you say patricide?
Anyway, I wanted to talk about Hanna-Barbera, and so today, what what brought this up was I was eating lunch with my son, and when we go to this certain place, he wants to watch my phone and watch cartoons.
Okay.
So usually it's Teen Titans, but today I just turned it on HBO Max, I think it was, and I was like, "Here, watch Mystery Incorporated." And I noticed there's only 2 seasons on there, which
Right.
I figure there's a lot more than that.
Mystery Incorporated got cut off early.
But so I'm watching the last episode with him,
Right.
and they answer the $1 million question that we've all asked our whole fucking lives.
Which is?
Why is the Mystery Incorporated gang driving all these places to fulfill mysteries? Are they draft dodgers? Is it apocalyptic time? Is it...
Why don't they take a plane, you mean?
Yeah. Because they take planes everywhere else. Do you know the correct answer? Because Mystery Incorporated answers it.
I've seen the show, but I don't think I've seen the last episode.
The last episode, recap really fast, is they fix Crystal Cole and it becomes a shift. And there's one gentleman on the show that's going through all these timelines, okay?
Okay.
And he's the only one that knows who they really are.
Okay.
Because it alternated universes. The last episode did, where everything went back to normal. But the cop has kids. Fred's parents aren't the mayor and blah blah whatever.
Right.
They're hippies.
Okay.
They're going cross country to this college, and Velma's like, "Well, if we gotta go cross country, like let's say they're in New York,
Right.
which they're not,
Yeah.
but they gotta go California.
Yeah, we're looking more like a Connecticut type area.
Yeah, they gotta go all the way that way. So Fred goes, "We'll get in the van and solve mysteries all the way there." That's what they're fucking doing. They're
just-
taking the longest way to get to college.
You know, they're young. It happens. Young people don't always make the smartest decisions.
Like when I heard that, like something came off my chest, and I was like, 34 fucking years, and I get the answer, and I'm happy about it.
And see, I was looking at it like this all along. That's not the question that always bothered me, because my family, we've driven all kinds of places. No, what was getting me was, how does the dog talk? Why does the dog talk? Why does nobody seem to notice that the dog talking is unusual whenever there's other dogs in the show that do not talk?
Scrappy does.
We don't talk about Scrappy.
Who does?
Scooby Doo.
Yeah.
Yeah, but still though, if you go back, you see Scooby Doo talking to dogs, and they just bark. They don't get up on 2 legs. They're not pulling slapstick.
Also,
Is it all a hallucination?
with that, Alien Invasion, the dog from that comes back to talk to Scooby Doo
Mm-hmm.
on the last episode.
Okay. And I saw Alien Invasion, so.
Yeah. Shaggy's girlfriend's dog.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that one.
And one thing I liked about Mystery Incorporated is, they actually touched on, like, interpersonal relationships.
Yeah, I like that too. Didn't realize that Velma ended up with. I guess she's bi on Mystery Incorporated because she dates Shaggy,
Yeah.
and then I haven't saw this lady, but I was doing a little bit of research on the way here. She ends up with a lady of.
You sure you weren't reading a fanfic?
No, it was on YouTube.
Yeah.
So it was like best things of Mystery Incorporated. To answer your question, though, there's several theories of why Scooby-Doo talks and the other dogs don't.
And I've heard quite a few of them.
That Okay, we got Wally Gator. We got the Jetsons dog. We got
Huckleberry Hound,
Huckleberry Hound, Snaggletooth,
Quick Draw McGraw,
Yogi Bear, Boo Boo.
Magilla Gorilla
All these people or animals,
are talking animals.
but there's other ones that don't. Okay.
Yeah.
So there was a theory that maybe in Johnny Quest's science lab that there was some maniac doing research and like torturing all these animals. Some of them got loose.
Yeah, some super science experiment gone wrong.
Yeah.
I've heard that one.
The other one was like Shaggy has PTSD and
He's the only one who hears the dog.
he's the only one who hears the dog, but like they go with it.
Yeah, they just go along.
Yeah.
The problem is that one doesn't hold up because there's plenty of times in other series that Scooby was in and things like that where he talks to people where Shaggy not even around and they and they understand him perfectly.
Right. Other than pup named Scooby Doo.
I've also heard that it's a hallucination brought on by something that Shaggy had to do in Vietnam. I've heard that the reason he can talk and the reason they can all understand him is because they were exposed to some of the weed that the U.S. government tinkered with during Project MK Ultra. So they all got high in the van. The dog developed ability to talk, and they just, yeah.
There's two other theories.
I
One I missed, but the other one it kept popping up in other things. Was and I kind of like this. I'm not gonna lie. If you remember in Scooby Doo, there was an episode with a witch. Well, there's several, but
Yeah.
original there's a witch, and
The one from 1969.
yeah, and he was a human, but this witch put a curse on him and made
Turned him into a dog.
and that's why everybody can understand him, Scooby, and that they're trying to solve the mysteries to turn him back to him.
Yeah, to get him back to a human.
I kind of like that.
Which that's cool, but all the other in-universe talking animals,
Yeah.
For Hanna-Barbera in general, that's not gonna fly.
Right.
But if you look at Scooby as a standalone, yeah, that works. Especially with some of the run-ins they've had, like the Hex Girls and things like that.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty nice. I like the Hex Girls, so I want more Hex Girls to keep appearing.
And one of the ones that gets me is not just does he speak, and they've never given a definitive answer. The definitive answer is what I want, but also he obviously has like as long as or even longer than human lifespan, because a Great Dane making it to 10 is incredibly old for a Great Dane. So either that's not the same dog that Shaggy grew up with and they've just been swapping out Scoobies, or that dog has like human level longevity or longer.
I'm just not gonna think about it.
You're not gonna overthink it.
No.
It's probably best not to overthink it, in all honesty.
I watched this once with the boys, and
It's
then
a big graveyard full of Scoobies.
was watching the latest Scooby-Doo movie, which is Sword of the Stone Scooby-Doo, basically.
I saw the ad for that the other day.
Nick Frost plays a voice in it.
Nice.
I watched it, didn't think much about it, but then the voice was rewatching it the other day, and I was in there, and someone brought up Barney Rubble,
Okay.
and Shaggy goes, "That guy's from the future," and the guy next to him goes, "No, he's a caveman." Alright, so one of my favorite cartoons, like movies, is the Flintstones meets the Jetsons.
Okay.
Barney goes to the future with the Jetsons.
Right.
But also, there's been a fan theory that there was a major war, and the rich people gotta go to space.
And then everyone else got knocked back to the Stone Age.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they had to rebuild.
Yep.
And the Jetsons and the Flintstones, same time period.
Yeah, take place simultaneously. I've heard that one before. I think it's a really interesting theory.
It is. So, is Barney Rubble from the future? Or is he from the Stone Age?
Or is he from an entirely parallel timeline?
I don't think so, because they had the Olympics with Team Fred
That's true, yeah, I forgot about that.
and Scooby was team captain of
Yeah, yeah.
Scooby, and Fred was the team captain of the Bedrockers, whatever it was called.
Yeah.
So it can be an alternate universe.
No, it'd have to be the same. Unless in order to do the Olympics, they brought people from all different parallel
Right.
and forced them together. Which, I mean, let's not forget the Great Gazoo. There you're dealing with a Martian with supernatural powers.
Another pot thing going on. We're dropping acid.
Yeah, I'm thinking there was a lot of LSD involved in the writers' room. It's the right time too. I mean, yeah, there's a lot going on there.
I love these cartoons though.
Oh yeah,
Like,
yeah, they were so much fun growing up.
another one I liked was Yogi Bear.
Hey, boo boo.
But I just heard a theory that kind of pisses me off.
Okay.
But I could see it being true. This day and age, just to piss me off. And that's Yogi Bear's actually a human in a costume.
He's a furry.
No, he's a guy that doesn't have a job, so he waits for people to show up at the Yellowstone,
And steals their food.
steals their food and their belongings, and then when it's time to hibernate, he leaves.
That's got to be a really convincing bear suit, because Ranger Smith is fooled by it and thinks that he's a bear.
Yeah.
Of course, Ranger Smith also doesn't seem to care that the bear is talking to him.
I mean, he's friends with Boo Boo.
That's true. That's true. There's some definite weirdness going on there. However, if it's a homeless guy in a fursuit, I'm telling you, he's a furry. Because think about it, Cindy Bear. Yeah, Yogi and Cindy Bear.
Yeah, they got married.
He's a furry. Which, I mean, I'm not gonna kink shame. If dressing up like a bear is the only thing that can get you off, go for it. I don't care.
I don't think that's the case. I think he's a damn bear.
Probably.
But if you think of him as a human, he did play baseball.
That's true. That's true.
But then you got I guess Johnny Quest, like in the comics and other places, is just like a big
It's a tie-in for pretty much all of it.
yeah.
Because Johnny Quest dealt with supernatural things, science things, super science, combination of supernatural and science together, crime, aliens,
Yeah.
I think Johnny Quest would be the reason why pretty much anything went weird in the Hanna-Barbera universe.
Yeah.
Johnny opened the wrong door in a haunted house, or cracked open a tomb he wasn't supposed to.
I mean, you got Captain Caveman running around, sharks that talk.
Jabberjaw. I watched way too much Jabberjaw as a kid. Jabberjaw and Speed Buggy,
Yeah.
and then the Blue Falcon and Dino Mutt, which Dino Mutt was just cybernetic Astro from the Jetsons. I'm convinced that there was a horrible accident and they just had to put the dog back together with robot parts.
The mechanic from Jetsons probably did it.
Probably. I wouldn't doubt it. Which would explain an awful lot.
Remember when he had that robot that was like a filing cabinet?
Mm-hmm. Which that's like the same level of joke as like whenever in the Flintstones you see that their garbage disposal is actually like a small woolly mammoth It's like, it's a living, you know. It's that same level of joke.
Right. So, Don Knotts probably has the most cameos in Scooby-Doo, though.
I wouldn't doubt it.
I think it is, because now they're just using him now.
Yeah, Don Knotts was hilarious. The man was brilliant when it came to comedic timing and delivery of lines.
So Scooby-Doo has that issue, though.
Okay.
And here's the issue. And I get what everyone's going to say, well, like, they just modernized it, alright? So we got Willem and Hardy, we got Sonny and Cher, we got Phyllis Diller, the Addams Family,
Right.
Batman Robin, then we got, like, the Hex Girls, we got Sum 41, we got Whoopi Goldberg, Jeff Foxworthy, like, LeBron James, Mark Hamill, like, it goes from way early
Mm-hmm.
to
Late 60s to early 70s.
the Three Stooges,
Yep.
alive, by the way, to now.
Right.
Like, they all should be fucking up.
Yeah. That's another thing, because the dog. That's why I said Scooby may have longer than human longevity. It's obvious that the kids do because they've been stuck as 20-somethings since 1969. So,
Well, yes and no.
until you jump backwards with stuff like Pup Named Scooby Doo.
You got Pup Named Scooby-Doo, which they're kids.
Right.
Mystery Incorporated, they're teenagers.
And then there's that movie Scoob.
Well, yeah, that's back with Pup Named Scooby-Doo.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That would be the original, then Pup Named Scooby-Doo, then Mystery Incorporated. Then you got the original Scooby-Doo.
Yeah.
Where are you?
The original Scooby Doo was from 69 to 70, and then after that, from 72 to 74 was the new Scooby Doo movies. 76 to 79 was the Scooby Doo Dynamite Show and Laugh Olympics. 79 to 85 was Scooby Doo and Scrappy Doo, the Richie Rich Scooby Doo Show.
Horrible shit.
Oh yeah,
My son loves it,
Scrappy needs to die. Also, from 83 to 85 was New Scooby-Doo and Scrappy-Doo Show and the New Scooby-Doo Mysteries. 13 Ghosts of Scooby-Doo came out in 85 and ran for 1 year to 86. Pup Named Scooby-Doo was 88 to 91. What's New Scooby-Doo 2002 to 2006. Shaggy and Scooby-Doo Get a Clue was from 06 to 08. And then there were tons of direct-to-video specials and then live action reruns, obviously, because the reruns have never stopped.
Right. But the kind of time period, like, they got a movie out. It was the Halloween episode movie, direct-to-movie. It has Scarecrow as the villain.
Oh, okay.
Literally, Scarecrow from Batman.
Which, I mean, they had Batman and Robin, so it's in the universe.
So, literally...
Which technically makes him a DC character.
He is a DC character. Actually.
Which, continue to talk, I'll be right back.
Alright. So, there are adults on that movie.
Yes.
Because the cops threaten them.
Okay.
Just throwing that out there. So, eventually they become adults. To be continued. It's got silent 10 million years. And I'm stuck in the itty bitty little space. I'm just going to entertain you with Disney songs. Be prepared. Prepared for what? The death of the king. Why? Is he sick? No, we are going to kill him.
What did I miss in my absence?
I said I'd gone silence for a few minutes, and I'm going to entertain the masses with Disney songs.
Oh, okay, okay.
So anyway, they do become adults. And I would think there was a series where Shaggy did like drag racing with monsters and stuff. I would think there are adults there, and Boo's School also. I would think there are adults there, and 13 Ghosts. I would think there are adults there.
It seems like it anyway.
Yeah.
Which, you know, still though, you never see them age past, say, 30 something.
Yeah, probably not. Do we really want to see them in their 30s? Probably not.
I'd like I'd like to see them all in middle age. Fred's lost all of his hair. Yeah, big old beer gut.
Still not married.
Yeah, still not married.
I didn't realize this, but Vincent Van Gogh is also in Mission Incorporated.
Yes, played by the wonderful Vincent Price, the legend who left us unfortunately back in the 80s and 90s, somewhere in that area.
But yeah, so but instead of him being that character from 13 Ghosts, he's just playing basically Dracula. So
Yeah.
okay, anything else you want to talk about with Scooby Doo at least?
Hold on, I had to pull this up. He passed away in 93.
Oh, so when I was 6.
And I was already like 17 or 18. Yeah, I'm 45, so yeah, that's about right. Now I feel elderly. Which, funnily enough, Vincent Price only ever performed the intro to Thriller live once.
Yeah.
And it was on a talk show, and you know, you can look it up, which obviously it's one of the most famous songs of all time, but his intro to that, if you'll look it up and check that out, it's really, really cool. But, you know, enough of me fanboying about, you know, legend Vincent Price. Which Dana Gould, the comedian, he does a bit where it's Vincent Price and Don Knotts and a couple other people that are like, you know, legends but had really unique voices, hanging out at the bar trying to get chicks. and he does brilliant impersonations of them. Dana Gould is hilarious. Also, you ever seen Stand Against Evil?
Mm-mm.
It only made it 3 seasons before it got canceled. McGinty, what's his first name? The one who plays the really angry doctor on Scrubs.
I don't know his real name.
Charles C. McGinty or something like that?
Yeah, he was in Wall Street.
Yeah. He plays this small town police officer. And this town, they have a history of a witch burning and a bunch of other things. There's a curse. And every sheriff is going to die before they can retire. And it gets into supernatural really heavy, but it's hilariously funny. Last place I saw that had it, John C. McGinley. Okay, that's much better because I'm saying Charles C. McGinty. Yeah. I was nowhere near close. I had the Mick right, that's it. But he plays Stan, the sheriff, in that, and that show is so messed up and so funny.
He's worth $10 million, just to let people know.
And it's sad that it got killed after 3 seasons. Last place I saw that has it is Hulu. I highly recommend if you want goofy, off-the-wall, splattery horror comedy. That show, watch all 3 seasons. You can binge them. It's hilarious.
He was in Wall Street.
How old is he? I could have
62.
I could have looked it up while I was talking, but I didn't.
He's 62. Last thing I saw him in, other than a commercial, was Wild Hogs.
Oh yeah, I forgot he was in that. which I forgot that was even a thing, honestly.
He was in Platoon,
Yeah.
Talk Radio, Point Break, The Rock, Nothing to Lose, Office Space. Nothing to Lose is an underrated movie. People should watch that. It's probably Martin Lawrence's best movie,
I can see that, yeah.
other than Blue Streak. He played the Atom. Played in Boondocks.
Mm-hmm. He's been in a ton of things. And, you know, he does drama really well, but he's just excellent at comedy. His comedic timing and the delivery, especially playing Stan, who's just this curmudgeon-y, disgruntled old sheriff trying to retire.
Yeah.
Look at you, good lord, you look like a bag of cat buttholes. And, you know, it's hilarious.
Hopefully our next episode's gonna be on Conan.
The Destroyer?
No. O'Brien?
O'Brien the Destroyer?
No. Conan O'Brien.
Oh!
The greatest
Okay,
talk
okay.
show host of all time.
He
It's been a proven fact. Look it up on the internet.
Who proved it?
The people that posted the thing for New York Times, I guess.
He is an amazing, you know.
They got David Letterman right next to him and Johnny Carson.
So say
calm down.
Carson honestly should be at the top of that.
I don't know.
Carson took over for Jack Parr when it was still the Jack Parr show. And
I see things on Johnny Carson, like I watch old videos and stuff. And
yeah,
I don't get the hype.
Back in the old days, they used to tape the shows on these really big honking videotapes, and they would wipe the tape completely clean, the master, and then reuse the tape over and over and over again to save money. And because of that, most of the shows that he did, you can't get now.
Right. Jimmy Fallon does it. I'm not one of them people that like sit and watch a late night talk show and people are laughing their fucking asses off for no reason. And I feel like, I could be wrong, that Johnny Carson did that. And Ed McMahon.
No, because Johnny, if something wasn't funny, he wouldn't laugh. Like whenever... Really? Especially if it was him, if it wasn't funny, because you know he kicked Andy Kaufman off the show.
Did he really?
Yeah, because
that's fascinating.
He's like, young man, you really need help, and you know, like whenever Bobcat Goldthwait set fire to the curtains.
Oh shit.
Yeah, he's like, yeah, well, we got some problems, and just stop filming now. They shut it down, and yeah, I mean he honestly...
So he didn't laugh at it. He didn't laugh from his ass.
No, he didn't just make up laughter.
Okay.
He wasn't just, oh, that is so funny, ha ha ha. No, now Ed, keep in mind, Ed McMahon was an alcoholic who made all of his side money hustling for Budweiser beer and Alpo dog food.
I don't know about that, but
those were the two major commercial things he was in before he started Star Search.
Okay, Star Search and Million, whatever.
Yeah,
like,
but
the house fucking show.
But if it wasn't for Johnny, a lot of the techniques and things that people use for doing late night interviews now wouldn't exist. I mean, he really paved the way for everybody.
He did pave the way a lot.
And if he didn't like you, he'd tell you in no uncertain terms.
There was one guess, and I want to say he's the dad from Step by Step. I could be wrong on this, but he would fucking interview this guy, and the guy's like not giving him anything he wants. He was just like a complete asshole, but it was funny.
And there's times that would happen. People would come on and they didn't want to be on there. Their agents made them come on. It's contractual obligation. And, Johnny's saying things like, wow, you're just going to sit there, aren't you? Okay, let's see if you'll bite at any of these. And he'll just start asking questions that are further and further off the wall from what the publicist
and that's kind of what, like, the guy wrote the book. Like, this guy I'm talking about, he played in Beethoven. He was the dad of Beethoven.
Wasn't that Charles Grodin? Oh, that was Charles Grodin. That was a bit. Charles Grodin, that was his, and most people didn't realize it was a bit.
Okay.
Charles Grodin went out of his way to be the most cranky, curmudgeon-y, and purposely difficult to interview person on any late night show he was on. And it was entirely a shtick that he did.
Right.
And it was hilarious. Because,
Right.
yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about now. Because
I watched the 3 or 4 of them.
and he would either sit there and, you know, like whenever Johnny was giving him crap about his book,
Yeah.
he's like, $24.99 or $14.99.
Yeah.
That's an awful lot for a book, and he just comes right back at him with an insult. Then he comes back out at another point and he's like, "It's in paperback now, and now you can get it for $6.99." He's like, "That's more affordable. I could do that, you know." But yeah, that Charles Grodin, that was another one we lost last year.
Mm-hmm.
That man was so underused.
Yeah, it was entertaining. Don't get me wrong.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
And the interviewers never knew that he was going to do that. He just that was his own call. And yeah, he drove Johnny insane. He made so many late night people just absolutely hate him whenever they were interviewing him. But then whenever they'd meet him in public,
yeah,
outside grocery shopping, he's like, "Oh, how you doing? Yeah, you want to talk about it?" You know, and then they're like, "Why? Why do you do this?" He goes, "Because it makes me laugh."
kind of like Paul Rudd's running show with Conan.
Yeah, yeah,
Like, oh, we got a clip.
yeah.
Oh, okay.
And it's old. Yep.
Mac and me.
Yeah, which, by the way, I saw in the theaters as a kid.
You poor slow.
I saw. Well, the thing is, it was years before I ever saw E.T.
Okay.
So I saw Mac and Me first, which was nothing but one gigantic commercial for Coke and McDonald's.
Right. But so yeah, we're gonna do Conan. Maybe next.
Okay.
Maybe the time after that. Maybe 5 episodes from now. Conan's coming though.
We may just keep doing this until like we're on our deathbed, and it's the last podcast we do on our deathbed. We're literally, one of us is gonna die, and then the other one will finish the show like halfway through. One of us is gonna croak. There's a lot there.
There's a lot there. And Conan is one of my like comedian heroes / talk show hosts. Like, that's what this is basically to me. Like, this ain't a comedy show, but like,
It just accidentally comes out funny.
yeah, that and like, I sent you and I sent Tish a video that Conan's talking.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you guys watched it because I send a shit ton of stuff to people, so I understand when people don't watch my stuff. Like, I sent a whole season to my brother through YouTube.
So here, watch all of this.
And I was like, "Did you watch it all?" He's like, "Are you done saying it?" I'm like, "No." And he's like, "Wait till I get all of it, and then I'll binge watch it."
There you go. I'll set aside a day.
But anyway, Conan was talking, and he's like, "This is fucking therapy."
Yeah.
And I've said that 100 times on here, that this is so much stuff. There was an episode we did on Stephen Colbert, and I messed up. But no one knew I messed up. An hour and a half later, I was on the phone with Eric, blowing up his phone about this. And he's like, "No one knows that you fucked up other than you."
And you know, that's true of most people in life. You're always going to be harder on yourself than you are on other people.
Yeah. But I messed up, like, one thing on the Stephen Colbert thing that anybody that does anything on Stephen Colbert will tell you that he's a huge J.K. Tolkien fan.
J.R.R. Tolkien.
Whatever. But, didn't bring it up at all. And I blew up about it because I messed up on something like that.
Dude, I'm telling you.
Like, no one knew.
You're harder on yourself than anybody else ever will be.
Well, I'm aware. That's why the Conan episode has to be perfect, in my opinion. And that's the thing.
If it's not perfect,
going...
that's it. We will sit and live cast until we get 30 minutes of perfect material, even if it takes 7 years.
They're going to call Andy Richter up.
He's going to be like, who are you and how did you get this number?
They're going to call Andy and be like, this bastard won't let us quit this podcast so we'll get perfect Conan. Conan's an asshole. Other news about Conan, they did a live Q&A on the podcast, and someone asked, well, when are we going to find out about your HBO show? And he's like, you know what? HBO's asking the same thing. It's kind of like you have a midterm paper due, and the day of, and the day goes by, and you still have to turn that thing in.
Mm-hmm.
That's what's going on right now.
Yeah. I get that. I completely understand how that works.
But then he explained why
Right.
he hasn't announced anything. Because, one, it's not going to be a daily show.
Right.
It's probably going to be like once a month show or something like that. But he wants to go out and about with real people. Like,
Right. Instead of just, here, come to the studio.
yeah. So, I'm interested to see how it's going to go. Other news, talking about heroes. Got more on the Eric Bischoff story.
Oh, no. Okay, now what?
I am the top 83 weeks fan, so I got a badge, and I'm sure that pisses Eric Bischoff.
Nice.
When I saw it, I was like, oh, wasn't that special?
Yeah. Also, as an aside, in other Conan news, in the Marvel Universe, Conan, and I'll stress the Conan instead of Conan O'Brien, is the only superhero that Kang the Conqueror fears.
Interesting. Probably, I would think.
Oh no, it's canon. Because he even made the comment, there was an issue where a bunch of them had to team up,
Yeah.
and he even made the comment, I could take everything here if it wasn't for you.
Right.
And yeah, he's definitely terrified of Conan.
Nice.
But Conan is the epitome of chaotic good. Yep, he'll stop the bad guy. So what if the orphanage full of children burned down in the process? The bad guys got stopped and the world is safe. Make more orphans.
Well, we'll see. If he shows up in Loki.
Yeah, honestly, I like Jason Momoa, but they never should have done the reboot of Conan with him.
I never watched it.
And they rushed that script. Oh Lord, did they rush that script? It's another one that producers and studio ruined. If they had gone with the source material and went about the right way, then the Conan franchise would have been reborn, basically.
Yeah.
But that's a character that is absolutely ripe for the picking if they'll do it the right way.
Right.
Of course, then you can always have the Kull spinoff because Kull the Conqueror was his father.
Oh, okay.
Which I'm going to completely ignore the Kevin Sorbo Kull the Conqueror movie with Tia Carrere as the demoness. Because they tried, but man, nobody in that could act. Like at all. Part of what made Hercules The Legendary Journeys TV show funny and enjoyable to watch was the fact that nobody in it could act.
He was great in the OC.
He's terrible in the other stuff. Plus, he's
Ryan's dad in the OC.
Plus, he's really not a nice person in real life.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I know. I knew desire to meet the guy. Other news. The con I'm going to, that I'm going to meet the clerks at.
Yes.
The greatest Lex Luthor of all time is going to be there. And I already said I'm going to do this. Oh, hell, Lex Luthor.
Good grief.
Yes, it's the guy that has his podcast.
Yeah, yeah.
And
Which, yeah. You may traumatize him.
well, you know.
He might, be really creeped out and run away screaming.
What's hilarious is he lives 45 minutes. Well, 10 minutes that way, but from my house it's 45 minutes.
Right,
that way.
right.
But we're going 202 miles that way
Oh, yeah.
to fucking meet.
That's how that works. That's generally how that works.
He technically lives in LA. I get that now, but shush.
He came from 10 minutes that way.
Yeah, there's some stories about him before he became famous around here, but they're interesting.
Somebody's probably got a high school play he was in on VHS.
I know a chick that knows him personally and can't stand the guy, so
Yeah,
because her dad and him are best friends, so and you'll have that. I mean,
Yeah, yeah.
Tom Willing's gonna be there too.
That'd be cool.
They're only $30 autographs, so
I don't got $30.
depends on my funding.
I don't have money. What are you talking about?
Depends on my funding. Other news: the con that Eric's going to go to,
Yeah.
fucking Cobra Kai is going to be there.
Like all of them?
The main people.
Oh,
like,
okay.
Like the best fucking '80s villain of all time, Kreese.
David Keith? Keith David?
No, John Kreese.
No. This is just, trust me, it's a joke.
Oh, all right.
I really, no, it's a joke that I really don't want to get into, but there's an actor who reminds me of that guy who plays John Kreese,
Okay.
and his name was David Keith,
Oh, okay.
not to be confused with Keith David, the legendary actor who, helped to open up black cinema and also, is just an awesome human being, and he voiced Goliath in Gargoyles cartoon.
Oh,
and
I know what you're talking about.
He's done a ton of
Yeah.
voices. The man's crazy talented,
Yeah.
and you don't want to confuse the two because David Keith is low budget, low level acting. That's just hold on.
Do I really want to?
I have a computer in front of me, so I should probably use it.
Well, you look up what you're doing. I'll be right back.
Yeah. Oh wow, I did not know his middle name was Lemuel. David Lemuel Keith. That's definitely a different one. Okay, hey. Ain't no shame. He is 67 years old currently and was born in Knoxville, Tennessee. He's been married to Nancy Clark since 2000. They have a child named Presley Keith, or maybe two children named Presley and Keith. There's no comma, so it'd be difficult to tell. His dad's name was Lemuel Grady Keith Jr., and his mom's name was Hilda Earl. This guy has all kinds of fun names in his family. But he always reminds me of the actor who plays John Kreese, even though it's probably just in my head that they look alike. He did play the father in the 1984 Drew Barrymore version of Firestarter. He was in Curse. He was in An Officer and a Gentleman. He was in Brubaker with Robert Redford. And oddly enough, he actually was in Daredevil in 2003, the one that Ben Affleck was in.
Yeah.
Which I'd already voiced my opinion on.
Greatest movie ever.
Joseph is busy being delusional.
It was a great
Aaron.
comic book movie. I know that guy.
For some reason, if he's in like an action movie and he's making the scowl, he reminds me of the actor that plays John Kreese. I know they're not the same person,
Not the same at all.
but it's a little glitch in my brain, along with the other giant glitches in my brain.
Anyway, did you finish Cobra Kai, or
I have not.
do you care if I tell you what happens?
No, go ahead.
So, the myth, the legend, Terry Silvers comes back,
Right.
and I know that guy. He also was in. He was in Blended, and he was so hilarious.
Oh,
Yeah,
he's a crazy talented actor.
he
and,
probably played the monkey off Lion King also.
And no, that was. You mean the baboon?
Yeah.
Rafiki?
Yeah.
No, that was Robert Guillaume.
Oh.
Which, have you ever seen the TV show Benson?
Yes.
They almost never. Used to, it was in reruns constantly. Now you almost never see it.
I know what you're talking about.
But yeah, he played Benson in that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Anyway, Terry Silver shows up. Chris goes, gets him. He's in, a mansion, and he's going by a different name, Terrius instead of Terry.
Right.
And I'm excited. My brother's excited. This is our favorite guy from Karate Kid ever. Like, I love Kreese.
He's your everything.
He is 80s badass. On cocaine, you name it.
Well,
He even says it in the movie. He's like, I went after a 17-year-old being on fucking coke because of you.
Cocaine makes bad decisions worse.
Yeah. He's
Which you watched They Live, right, with Roddy Piper,
Yeah.
when I linked to the disc on.
Yeah.
Keith David is the actor, a much younger Keith David, who has the 8-minute and 2-second long fight scene with him in the alley.
Yeah, it was really good.
Yeah, which, by the way, that's still one of the longest, just flat-out fist fights in movie history.
Back to Peacemaker for a minute, where they played the theme song and they're going to do that fight scene.
Yes.
Fan-fucking-tastic.
Which, by the way, you know the name of the song?
I have it on my TikTok.
Do you really want to taste it? And it's by the Swedish glam/sleaze metal band Wigwam. And it's not Wigwam as in one word.
Mm-hmm.
It's Wig space Wam.
Oh, stop.
Don't play it. We'll get copy struck.
Actually, we won't.
Why?
Because I've had it on Facebook for over 24 hours.
And they let it slide?
Yes, but Scooby-Doo did not.
Well, it depends on the size of the company, which the band probably, they're like, hey, okay, somebody's playing our stuff. Which is funny because... Which, if you ever see the video for it, the actual video,
Yeah.
I highly recommend watching it. It's a giant slice of late 80s, early 90s. Just insane hair metal, glam metal, sleaze metal.
But yeah, as soon as I put the Scooby-Doo video up with my son,
Yeah, boom, gone.
they're like, you have issues. I'm like, you have no idea, but...
It's like, oh, no. I don't just have issues. I have volumes. I'm starting a library dedicated to all my issues.
But back to Cobra Kai. But yeah, they flagged the fucking Scooby-Doo songs, both of them.
Does not surprise me.
But that, they did not.
Yeah, it just is a matter of how much money and power the company behind it has.
Yeah. Warner Brothers, once again.
Yeah.
We had issues before.
Used to all these companies had people who actually went through and searched for media that was being stolen. Now they've got algorithms they turn loose, and the algorithm's like, oh, hey, come look over here, man. Look what he's doing. And then the person comes in and takes it down. Don't ask me why he was from Wisconsin. I don't know, but the algorithms from Wisconsin.
Cheese, man.
Hey, you want to crack open a Cold Labatt's? We'll eat some poutine. I got it from my buddy up north.
But, yeah, like, that, I figured I wouldn't have any issues because people are constantly putting TikTok videos up on Facebook.
Yeah.
So I didn't think nothing about it, and then, like,
boom, gone.
well, they still allowed it because I don't know what I allowed, but I allowed something.
Well, also, this is something if you actually put in there that it's licensed under the Creative Commons Act. Creative Commons allows you to use up to 30 seconds of a song.
So it was 60 seconds, and they lowered it down to 20.
Yeah, because as long as you've got 30 seconds or less,
Yeah.
then CC will cover you.
Yeah.
But if not, you've got to really watch your butt.
Right.
there's tons of YouTubers who get taken down due to copy strike
Right.
because the stupid algorithm goes through and it gets honked off about it. And
But so we find out that Terry has PTSD from the war because he was in the Vietnam War.
with Shaggy,
No, with Carice. And so, like, he goes down to this wine cellar because no one knows he's into karate at all.
yeah,
They're like, "You're into what? Are you any good?" And like, John Carice is like, "He's the fucking best."
he's like, yeah, I'm alright.
So then he goes to this wine cellar and he pulls out like the $7,000 bottle of wine
Yeah,
and does the famous karate kick that Chuck Norris does.
spinning kick.
Yeah, and he fucking hits it and goes splashing, and then like Terry Silver's laughing, of course, like ha 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 ha, and then we find out he shows up at the Cobra Kai dojo and helps out Carice there. Well, then at the end, long story short, Miguel goes to find his dad.
Okay.
So he goes by himself to Mexico. Johnny goes to find him. Daniel and Johnny fell at the tournament, so
Right.
now Cobra Kai can exceed. The girl that attacked Daniel's daughter won the tournament, but then she finds out that Terry bought off the refs.
Okay. So she didn't necessarily win.
Yeah, so now she's pissed.
Well, yeah. If you're not making it of your own merit, what's the point?
Right. And then, very good, like, tournament though. Like, Johnny's son decides to say fuck it to Cobra Kai right in the middle of the tournament. But
Just kind of walks off.
no, he finishes tournaments, but he pulls off his colors and throws it at Terry. He's
okay,
like, fuck
okay.
you.
It's like, I'm done with you.
And then, like, Terry's like, looks at Carice, he goes, what's that about? And he goes, I don't know. So, like, he's shirtless, fighting this tournament. And then he goes with Johnny to go find Miguel. But then, Stingray gets attacked by Terry Silver. He doesn't kill him. He almost kills him. But he's in the hospital for like 2 months.
Right.
And he's like, I'll make you a deal. When you wake up, say Carice did this to you.
Okay.
So they win the tournament, they're drinking wine, and the cops show up. And Terry's like, oh, Johnny, what did you do?
Uh-oh.
Don't you worry. I have a couple people in mind to help us with Cobra Kai while you're gone.
Ruh-roh. I did nothing good about any of that.
It's probably Bebop and Rocksteady. It's probably gonna be Mike Barnes.
Okay.
And Daniel went and got the villain from Karate Kid 2 to help him.
Who was that? The one from 3 I remember clearly. The one from 2 I'm not remembering very clearly.
Miyagi's like nephew.
Hold on. We have this. We have the computer in front of us, people. But we ask anyway. We do research on certain things. Other things, it's always just going to be our opinion and maybe something we heard somewhere. So, if anything is wrong with what we say, don't worry about it. It just happens.
I have done no research
Yeah.
today.
What was I searching?
The
villain from Karate Kid 2, yeah. People also searched Bad Guy. Chosen Toguchi is a fictional character who appears as the main antagonist in the motion picture Karate Kid Part 2 and a hero beginning with Season 3 of the streaming television series Cobra Kai. He's portrayed by Yuji Okamoto.
Well, he's coming to America to help Daniel deal with the Cobra Kai now.
Okay.
And the wife goes, how many more Cobra Kai villains is there to run our lives.
There's a lot. I mean, yeah, because just the movies alone they can keep pulling from, but then if they get tired of pulling from the movies, they can always just start bringing in new characters, and then it's like, well, crap.
So with Mike Bones going to show up in Mexico,
Right.
as Miguel's dad.
Okay.
Or he's going to be one of the people that Terry calls him.
So you think Barnes is the dad?
Yeah, Miguel.
Okay.
Because he's supposed to be a bad guy. Like, that's what they say. He's a bad guy.
He's a bad dude.
Yeah. And if you remember, Mike Barnes was known as a bad guy in karate, which he could use that for his advantage other places, like Mexico.
Mexico?
Yeah.
Viva la Mexico!
You know.
By the way, we can also do this.
Oh, great.
This. And this.
We're making a stripper show.
Shake it, Joseph. Shake it. Come on.
Alright.
Alright.
But, so, Terry's gonna call a couple people in.
Okay.
Probably one from Vietnam, I would say, and who knows? We might even get the guy that looked like John Travolta in the next Karate Kid.
Oh, yeah. Oh, okay. Now you mentioned Vietnam again.
Yeah.
So we're gonna circle back to Peacemaker.
Okay.
Okay. The gentleman who plays the judo master, he's Vietnamese.
Oh, okay.
And he was somebody on Reddit put up, I hate the way they go out of their way to use special effects and make the Americans seem so much bigger than the little Asian guy, and they're all this. And the guy himself who plays him came on and said, that's not special effects, you idiot. I'm Vietnamese. I'm really that small. So that cracked me up. It's
Right.
like, yeah, go ahead. Do a little bit of research before you're gonna call somebody out for racism.
Right.
We do research on some things, but there's a lot of this stuff that we really should put a disclaimer on the show, where it's like, this is our opinion, not necessarily fact. So, take it all with a grain of salt.
When have we ever needed that?
Several times.
Huh?
Several times, just nobody caught us. Or if they did, they didn't care. I just don't want to be one of these people who manipulates people's opinions, based on my opinion. It's like, no, have your own opinion. Go get your own opinion. Don't take mine. I have my own opinion. You cannot have it. It is mine.
That's why Conan's the greatest late night talk show host in the world.
And see, now, say we have somebody listening who's easily susceptible. They just went through a breakup, maybe. They had,
Team Coco on TBS.com.
They had, they maybe had a bad childhood, whatever. They're looking for something. I need the best in my life now because of you. They're gonna become obsessed with Conan O'Brien, and we're gonna end up with another Mark David Chapman situation, where he's obsessed with Conan. Let's go to where he lives and shoot him. See, that's what happened to John Lennon. See, this is what happens. If you can't deal with real facts, then just tell people, hey, this is my opinion.
My opinion's right, but do not go after Conan O'Brien. I swear to God.
and see, I'm of the school of thought of it's my opinion. You can't have it. Go get your own. This is my opinion. It's not for you.
Oh, Lord. But, no. We do well on here. I mean, we're getting better and better and better.
And we have fun.
Oh, yeah.
I hope that comes across to the people who actually do listen to us. Because if it doesn't, then, I'm still going to...
miserable old men.
Actually, hold on. You can ask my wife. I'm cranky, like, nonstop. It never ends. And just a very terrible human to live with. You can ask her. She just wants me dead at all times. Actually, no, but she will tell you I'm kind of like what happens when you stick a little bitty kid and an old man in the same body. You know, I can be easily amused by something really simple, but then I can be really cranky at the same time.
We got like 10 more minutes left. So, I got excited about a podcast that came out.
Okay.
I was informed that New Girl has a podcast out.
The whole cast or just part of them?
Well, I was sold on Winston and Cece.
Okay.
So I was like, okay, I could deal with both of them. Like, I'm not a big Winston fan as Winston, but him on other things I like.
Right.
So I'm like, I could deal with this. Alright, so I like Zoe Deschanel. I think she's cute. Whatever. Alright? I listened to 2 episodes of this, and I don't know if I can listen to it anymore. Because I don't know if Zoe Deschanel, one, is being for real.
Well, everybody who's divorced her, that she's been married to, said she was absolutely unbearable as a human being and so difficult to deal with on a personal level, and she went out of her way to ruin their lives. So I'm thinking she's probably not the best person.
Well, like, I get she's a hippie, which I have no issues with hippies because I count myself as one that's just dealing with shit in my life.
You know,
Anyway.
you always hear hippie dippy. You know, I'm the dippy.
Alright.
Yeah, you be the hippie, I'll be the dippy.
She laughs, and I always thought this, like, anything I saw her on, I don't know if it's a real laugh.
I don't think it is.
Because she's like, ha 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 ha.
Mhm.
I'm like, are you really laughing, or are you being... Because she went to a acting camp as a kid.
Right. And her older sister was already bitten by the acting bug.
So, I like... They're telling stories of, like, stuff like that, and they're supposed to be talking about New Girl. And I'm like, I don't give a shit that the chick from Dennis the Menace, the movie, was at your acting camp and was a big shot. Because A, I don't know who she is, and 2, I don't care. What I care about on this podcast is New Girl. Or if you got along with Will Ferrell. On Elf. If we're going to go on a tangent, let's go on a tangent about Elf. Because I know Will Ferrell won't do Elf 2, and there has to be a reason. Other than him being in an elf costume.
That's got to be uncomfortable, those tights.
Oh, yeah.
Because long shooting schedule days in the cold with those tights on,
Yeah.
that had to suck.
Yeah.
I'm not the biggest Will Ferrell fan. There's some things he's in that I actually really enjoy. Other things, it's just like, all right, man, you've gone too far now. It's just a lot of it's me. It's my opinion.
Yeah.
But
A lot of people I know don't like Will Ferrell.
but
I
that
like
had to suck because that
Sitting
just,
on Bob Newhart had to suck too.
you don't know. Maybe he was into it.
Probably not.
I've seen recently. My wife showed me a TikTok that is Will Ferrell talking to his daughter, and he's talking to the daughter like, you know, I don't know, man. I wasn't there. You know, I don't even know what you're talking about. You know, it's actually pretty funny.
Right.
But like
Celebrities with their daughters is pretty funny usually. Mark Wahlberg.
Yeah. I loved him in Stranger Than Fiction.
Yeah, that was a good one.
Yeah, his serious acting. Everybody hires him for the goofy crap, which, like in the other guys, I liked it. But
I thought that could go darker.
Yeah, true.
The other one they did together was great too. Daddy's Home.
Yeah. Now, see, stuff like that where he's not over the top,
Yeah.
I think he does excellently in, and I honestly think he could pull a drama role off just as well. But
Did you see him on Broadway as Bush?
I didn't.
It's pretty damn good.
I've heard, but I didn't get to see it.
I had it on DVD at one time.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
But I honestly think he's one that, yeah, he's famous, yeah, he's got this, but I think he's just been typecast really badly. I think that if he really truly wanted to get out from underneath that persona that people have of him, he'd have a real hard time doing it.
I think he has enough money, doesn't give a damn though.
True. And he shows up in TikTok singing with Ryan Reynolds.
There was a TikTok where he was supposed to have a fight with a celebrity.
I had TikTok on my phone for a little while, and then it's like, I need more memory space. so I got rid of it. Plus,
there's a video out there of me.
Nothing data mines your personal information worse than TikTok, which is owned by a major Chinese company that is regulated by the government. Chinese government, not ours. And I'm fine with that. I don't have anything to hide, and they're not going to find anything interesting. But
they'll find interesting on me, but they'll just scratch their head and ask if it's true or not.
Well, I mean, I've got some stuff they're just going to be like.
When I die, hopefully there's a book of quotes.
I'm gonna, I've got stuff that they're gonna look at and like that doesn't make any sense, but at the same time, I don't have anybody's like bank numbers that they can.
Have I ever
use.
told you what I tell people?
Well, I mean, you've told me a lot of things, so I don't know.
When people ask me about our friendship, I was like, I don't know. Like, we're friends, but like, if government came crashing down at me and said like he's gone around the world to hide from something, I'd be like, okay, I believe it.
Yeah, there is every chance of that.
Like, don't you know who you did podcast with 35 fucking episodes? I'm like, Brandon, that's who.
Yeah. I have been to many other countries, and if need be, I can go back to any of those other countries.
But like, people ask me questions, I'm like, I don't fucking know. It's not my business.
Yeah,
like, he doesn't ask me. I don't ask him.
Yeah.
I was like,
I'm not real forthcoming on personal information.
I was like, if I need to know something, I'll text him.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
it's usually something stupid.
Hey, there's nothing wrong with that.
Like today, I text you, do you have Spawn? No
Yeah.
questions asked.
No. And I answered it immediately without asking any questions back. Like, nope. However, I really enjoyed the HBO animated series in the late 90s.
Yeah, I didn't know there was a series to I was watching the documentary on Todd McFarlane that posted today. And that being said, my brother told me never to watch.
And
he didn't tell me not to ever, but I took it as
And who did the voice for the animated Spawn? Keith David.
Here we go, making circles, making interstates. But anyway,
Not to be confused with Altered States, which is one really psychedelic movie.
But I watched that documentary. It's pretty good. Like,
Yeah.
Oh, I did have a question I was going to ask on this podcast about Todd McFarlane and Neil Gaiman.
Sure.
So he got sued 3
Right.
times, but won by Neil Gaiman for characters, like 3 characters.
Right. Angela was the number one.
What?
Angela was the number one character.
Is it because
That was the
Angel?
lawsuit. No, it was the difference of somebody else made the character, but it was allowed to feature in Spawn, and yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the profits that were made and the standalone book, and yeah.
Oh, I got you. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that makes sense.
Yeah, it's always been over stuff like that. It's never been
Yeah.
over like, you looked at my chihuahua funny when we was at the spa.
See, that would be me. Like, you fucking dog.
Joseph looks at every animal funny. Animals look at Joseph funny. My dog likes to, come over and try and get Joseph to pet her, and he just looks at her. And the dog is just... The other day, I stuck a little origami hat on her and sent a photo of that to Joseph, and Joseph was like, ugh. So I just started laughing because I knew that was going to be the reaction I was going to get out of that. Oh, hold on. We can show the viewers this because don't show them me. That's not something anybody needs to see. Somebody might recognize me from like from the past.
They see it.
That's her with her little origami hat on.
They see it just fine.
What can I say? I love my dog.
A lot of people do.
Love my dog? Weird.
No, love their dogs.
Yeah, it's funnier if they love my dog.
But anyway, so yeah. So I posted some videos of Jim Lee,
Right.
Todd McFarlane, and then there's one from the 90s of, like, from this company who doesn't even exist anymore. Like, they went bankrupt like 10 years ago. but the host was Stan Lee, right?
Right.
And he's like, I'm going to let these guys talk about themselves. I'm too tired. I'm going to go take a nap over here.
Like, I've had enough of this.
I'm like, this is why it took 20 fucking years, Stan, for you to do shit. Because when they trust you to be a host of something, you're like, oh, they're going to pay me no matter what.
Yeah. Listening to him whenever we were at the roast was hilarious because he really wanted to use his whole name because he's like, well, you know, I'm not going to do this superhero stuff. I'm going to do like actual literature.
Yeah.
And because of that, you know, I'll just use a pen name. It's like, well, my name's Stanley, so I'll just go with, you know, Stan Lee, and, you know, we'll go with that. And he goes, and son of a, it's stuck. It's stuck, you hear me? What is it?
His real name.
Can you not pronounce it?
Stanley Martin
Lieber.
Yeah, Lieber.
Yeah. He was like, I wanted to be known as Stanley Martin Lieber. Yeah, and he's doing all this. It was really funny watching him go through the shtick. He's like, but then, wouldn't you know it, the stupid pen name stuck. He goes, great, I succeeded.
Alrighty.
No lefty.
Anything else?
Of pertinence? Not that I can think of.
Alright, we'll end this. We're at the 2 hour mark.
Good Lord!